Well, hello and welcome back, everyone. This is Token 2049 at Dubai, and I'm Lakshay from ZEX Media. Currently, we are just meeting an old friend from a company that we are already working a long way with, right? I met Jeff at the Web3 Hong Kong Festival, and now I'm having Alvaro over here. So Jeff is the CEO and he's the
COO.
COO, right? So these are the like two main wheels of R2 money, right? And these are guys are just making waves in the crypto market, especially in terms of real world assets and the stable coins. I mean, who could have imagined how we can actually making these things as the best way possible, right? So, hi, how are you?
Yeah,
Let's start with that.
how are you? It's a pleasure to be here. I was hearing the podcast that Jeff was hosting with you, and yeah, I mean, great to be working with you guys along the rebranding and some of the other promotions that we've been coming along. But really seeing that we're advancing forward in the forefront of what's going on, especially here in Dubai as well. So yeah, happy to be here.
Pleasure to have you here. Talking in terms of different parts or different roles that you guys do, right? But still, you have the same core, making the TradeFi and DeFi work together,
Exactly.
right? So, how do you make it happen?
Yeah. So it's funny because I think I'm gonna take a little bit of the pictures that I was having from the booth and the different walkarounds in the conference. It tends to be polished as you
Yes.
speak with people, and bridging TradFi with DeFi is something that when I borrow the example of Tether as a stablecoin, you see how many years ago US dollars were being parked there in order to be able to create a stablecoin for us for different purposes,
Yes.
very different from today, but for the concept of having a stable unit of account in Web3 natively, denominated to the dollar. They're
Got it.
having a treasury that they're diversifying into. Interesting basket of risks, but all of them are very traditional risks. US dollar denominated baskets of assets that we're looking
Yes.
into from credit markets to treasury bills. I mean, very different from the native issuance and risks that we had in the crypto markets, right? So when we're thinking about financial innovation, if you want to innovate in the realm of stablecoins, it started to become very interesting when you look into RWA,
Yes.
what BlackRock and well throughout Securitize, Plume, Ondo, etc. Everything that is happening. Because do you see how I was telling you about this risk basket that Tether was diversifying into? I can now do it in a tokenized way.
Yeah.
There's risk adjusted returns such as treasury bills and different products that are comprised and tokenized in the right way when I'm
Yes.
speaking about counterparty risks, third party attestation, how things are being done under the hood, right?
Right.
That is not only the BlackRocks of the world that are doing it, is that I can do it on chain and that you can
Mm-hmm.
see that there's a daily third party attestation on OUSG, which is issued throughout Ondo with BlackRock, right? Daily attestation from one of the single most biggest financial institutions and entities that are currently working in the landscape, traditionally and natively, right? So I have the opportunity with the stablecoin that we're building to diversify into a whole different set of risks compared to what we had the opportunity 5 years ago. Do you see how we had the very limited opportunity of entering money markets native into crypto
Yeah.
and very different opportunities that were always comprising code risks, exploit abilities, and many different risks that when you went and knocked on more traditional doors, we
Mm-hmm.
were just seeing jiggles in their
Yeah.
faces. Well, I'm sitting with asset managers right now that are quite interested in the risk basket that I'm diversifying into. And if anything, we get into more sophisticated conversations, right? Like, how could you merging code audits
Mm-hmm.
with financial audits, right? That's a whole different topic, but it's super useful for my pro, right? But anyway, I don't want to bore too much. It's very exciting times about building in the direction that we're building because the tailwinds from a legal standpoint,
Yes.
together with the ability of building these products, is there, right? What I like to say is that RWA is the intersection between what we used to call STOs in 2019
Yes.
and the DeFi that we were not able to execute on after we figured out AMMs and we
Hmm.
figured out money markets, I would say. We
Yes.
got too lost. I feel like I'm building DeFi right now, but I have to tell people around that we are using Web3 as a tool. Right? Do you see how I could be building such a basket of risk without having it tokenized?
Got it.
It's a very valid point.
Yes.
The thing is that Jeff, me, and different co-founders in this situation are having close to 30 years of experience natively in this industry, understand the liquidity game more than not, and see the opportunity in building these products natively more than in the industry that was catered for yesterday. In other words, we are building for the people that will come tomorrow
Hmm.
in an industry that is being built today. But Web3 is not being catered for Web3 native. It's being
Yes.
catered for the people that are starting to be onboarded.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And in terms of mixing it together, how do you feel like specifically for the yields, right?
Yeah.
People used to think like stablecoin is just to hold and do the transaction in between, but just like traditional market, I used to save my money in account and I get some of the yields on that, right?
Mhm.
But that's not much possible of getting high yields on a stablecoin.
Correct.
That used to be a thing, right?
Correct.
But with R2, I think this is going to be flipped.
Yeah, that's a very interesting standpoint that we're touching. And this goes into the go to market that we're taking because if I'm honest with you, we are catering for crypto native while building the product for not really crypto native, the crypto to be native, right?
Hmm.
The people that we're onboarding.
Yes.
We're just having a transition of the financial system into being tokenized. So what you're seeing with this yield is that it's a very adjusted risk appetite, very interested for that much more traditional clientele that is yet to be entering in a more thick sense, I would say,
Yes.
versus the more native industry that we're having over here.
I mean, the existing Web3
Yeah.
users would definitely explore new opportunities.
Yeah.
But the one who are switching
Yeah.
from the Web2 market to here,
Yeah.
they should see some spark. Okay, this is something new. This is something better. So I'll be able to switch it to
Exactly.
different.
Exactly. And the spark that they're seeing is that the risk reward ratios R2 are actually, hence why they're rebranding, by the way, are actually so interesting to these people. Because when we speak about code risks or exploitability, this is something that was completely out of their scope of understanding,
Got it.
right? We were translating that in some structured products somehow how we could. Robert Leshner was with some of the products that he's structuring. Native yield into structured product is beautiful, but it's a completely different vertical than the one that we're building towards, right? Because
Yes.
I'm borrowing the legitimacy and the robustness of financial products that are not really crypto native or Web3 native. I'm
Hmm.
borrowing the action that my partners are taking in tokenizing these and the risk that they're taking in tokenizing these. So I can be building these products for the clientele that is actually coming today. So about these different risk profiles and the yields, what we're having is the more native clientele tends to be interested in higher risk profiles,
Yes.
tending to disregard the more adjusted side of things. What's the risk really comprehended? Meanwhile, we're having masses entering that are much more interested in how we can manage that risk, right?
Hmm.
Risk is something that I don't think we have been speaking a lot about in this
Yes.
industry over the last 3 years.
Yes.
I feel like I'm very lonely when I
The
speak
market is
about
already
risk.
being too risky in terms of scams
Yeah,
for the crypto market,
exactly.
especially.
Exactly.
So people are not willing to put in the feed where the possibilities are endless for the risk,
Exactly.
right?
Let me show you how early this industry is. It's very cute how we call things RWA,
Yes.
real world assets. Do you know what this means to the people that I meet on a daily basis? It means risk weighted assets. That's what the acronym actually means in traditional finance. It's the profiling for a higher risk of an asset, a higher risk asset. We denominate these as the low profile risks, but they understand them as the higher risk. There's even a misunderstanding on the acronyms that we're using with RWA. It's
Oh.
funny, we're super early in the sense of how we're understanding risk natively. I'm a studied economist, and I was entering market making environments in traditional markets
Mhm.
when I was entering crypto. I'm very happy about the the move towards native environments because of all the playground that I had for myself and how much we were able to play around with new products, right? But we
Hmm.
cannot forget that there's a lot of structure into how things are being done in a traditional standpoint.
Okay.
And we're completely disregarding all of this. I mean, the acronym of RWA, risk weighted assets, real world assets, and that miscommunication just shows that the general public, even within crypto, is not very much understanding what's happening
Yes.
traditionally
Yes.
in
Yeah.
markets. There's so much opportunity. If anything, I'm seeing how a lot of stablecoins are going into looping and leverage and many of the opportunities that seem to be demanded by crypto native profiles,
Yes.
disregarding once again the risk and the underlying. I don't like to see so many DPEGs and so many algorithmic stablecoins that are questioning and challenging a little bit too much about how we can comprise risk.
Yeah.
Even though I respect a lot what is the financial innovation that is being brought on the table. For once, I believe that we need to be a little bit more down to the basics on how to build a stablecoin,
Hmm.
even though it's an investment vehicle for us. You see how
Yes.
we comprise risk into our product for being able to share value towards a clientele that can benefit of this superior products monetarily or financially in the future. So combining this risk into one product, these two the risk appetites natively and more traditionally into this one product that we're building at R2, I believe is crucial for our go-to-market approach as well. And it's demonstrating a lot of the affinity so far with the testnet that we've been having and the hundreds of thousands of users. But yeah, really happy on those fronts. It's just validating what we've been doing. But there's a long way to go still, right? So being able to comprise the risk basket and be able to put things on a testnet to be able to get to the later stages of a mainnet is really a long way to go. But I think
Yeah.
that we need to get down to those very basics, understand liquidity, understand redemption, understanding pegs.
Exactly, because most of the users in this market are like they just saw opportunity to earn some money,
Yeah,
but they don't understand the basics,
exactly.
right? That's where the major risks comes in,
Exactly.
right? But still, we have been so far in this industry and making good efforts by some projects like you, right? Uh, what do you think about the future of money? Like, where is it
Yeah.
going?
Oh, don't get me started over there. Do you see how I was taking a few concepts on stablecoins?
Yes.
All right. Here's the burning take. If we take a step back in time and we look at the last 50 to 100 years, the US dollar is a stable coin. Sorry, a stable bill. Right? We,
Civil
we
bill,
call them
yes.
bills. It's an already depegged stable bill, but stable coin from the Bretton Woods system. It was supposed to be back to gold, and we're still
Yes.
utilizing it. And the issuer, which is promoting it, is trying to keep it in the forefront, but the hegemony of the stablecoin is already being questioned. I'm
Yes.
talking about the United States government
Yes.
and how money is being perceived in general. I think we have a great opportunity on recreating the Bretton Woods system and a monetary policy and the US dollar concept, monetary transfer and exchange
Transfer
of
and
value,
exchange, yes.
in a very different way. Because that gold could be Bitcoin and different products, and you could be creating an alternative to how we can exchange value and transact within each other that's not necessarily denominated in an asset that's a stable coin, that's analog, that's outdated, and that is already debacked from the gold. So yeah, that's why I personally built around these fronts, but I like to see that it's not only me, it's more people building on this front.
Yes.
And really excited to see that we're going forward finally, because in the last 4 years we were a little bit stuck. Regulation was putting a little bit of hurdles in between, and
Hmm.
it was stopping the innovation a little bit, I would say. So very happy that we're getting out of this. Yeah,
And you're already so far already did the rebranding as well, right? So
makes a
yeah,
lot of sense.
makes a lot of sense.
The risk
Now I
adjustments.
understand. Jeff didn't told me about the R2 now.
I had to make sure I dropped the bomb as well here. So yeah,
So he's like the light fitted guy, and you're like the let's put the bomb on.
exactly. I'm a studied economist, and I like to look more on the product side of things. I was mentioning, right. My initial thrive was to enter traditional financial markets. I just got distracted with a more experimental environment that
Hmm.
was crypto. That has happened to be super exciting to be building upon, right? But still a lot of things to do. So yeah,
Great. So I think we should wrap it right now because it's gonna be a whole day if we start on another questions, right?
Yeah.
So thank you so much,
Thank you so
and
much.
it's been pleasure talking to you, and your whole team is like superb. So congratulations to you
Thank you.
for
Thank you.
being here again and
And thanks
connecting
for
with
all
us.
the support and help.
Superb. Yeah. Thank you. Just stay tuned, stay curious, and do check R2 Money for latest updates and good yields.
Thank you.
Thank you.